And we're going to start off with Eric Lavin. His title is The Power of Prayer. It's number 2 of the Competent Communicator Manual. His objective is structuring. It'll be 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Eric Lavin.
I hope that made everybody kind of nervous. Because what I'm about to touch on tonight is the power of prayer. And what I just did was I just made a prayer. Okay. And so what I'm going to be talking about tonight, again, it may be uncomfortable, but it goes over every single religion. And no matter who you are, or if you believe in God, or if you don't believe in God, if you just believe in the universe, whatever you want to call it, the power of prayer is so important. And it affected me in my life in so many ways. So back in 2008, I met a friend and an accomplice. He's one of the most influential people in my life, and his name was Ilya Newman. He came from a place of no religion, and then became very religious Jewish in Judaism, and he actually became Orthodox Jewish. And he told me I'm also Jewish myself, but he told me, never mind all of the Judaism. He said, again, across every board, across every person, that prayer is the most #1 thing. So what I'd like you to do, he saw that I was kind of going through a lot at that time. I wasn't working. I didn't have a girlfriend. He said, if you really want to make the biggest difference in your life, to go home for 10 minutes a day, to just sit down and for the first 5 minutes, just contemplate and be very grateful on what you have. So just take those first 5 minutes and just, I'm grateful for being younger. I'm grateful for having hair. I'm grateful for whatever it is, everything. Having a mother that loves me. And then for the second 5 minutes, taking that time and thinking about what you want. So I took that to heart and actually sat down and started doing it 10 minutes a day. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes it was hard to do, to actually get down and sit down and do that for 10 minutes. But again, it made some really substantial things happen in my life. So I'm going to give you a couple really amazing miracles that happened in my life. So fast forward to 2009. I actually went to Israel. Somebody paid for me to go there and stay there for a year. And I studied in a Jewish school. Now in this Jewish school, the food, when you walked in there, it was literally so oily and so greasy that you'd walk up and somebody would take a scooper and just and go like this and then plop it down. You're just like, ugh. And I'm a really, really healthy person. I like to eat very, very well. And so I knew I was going to be there for a year, and I could not eat that food. It was just like I was going to gain like 100 pounds. And so what did I do? I took Ilya's advice and I sat down 5-10 minutes, and you don't even need a lot of time to do it. You could even do a few minutes a day. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes. And I said what I was grateful for, that I was happy to be in Israel, that somebody had paid for that. I'm learning so much stuff. I get to see a different part of the world. And then the second 5 minutes, I took time and I prayed that I wouldn't have to eat that food anymore. And so the crazy thing about it was I didn't know how that was going to happen. I had no idea. So one day I was sitting in the middle of what we call a square, and a lot of people are sitting there. There's 400 students in that school. All of a sudden I had a friend tap me on the back, and I turned around, and it was this guy, a friend of mine, his name's Aaron, and he said, listen, I really want to study more. So on Fridays before we do what's called Shabbat, that I really want to study before Shabbat, get ready for Shabbat. Would you like a job? And nobody else had jobs at that time. It was crazy. So I said, hell yeah, I want a job. So, so I started working only Fridays, but that gave me enough money to be able to go to the Shuk, which is like this place where they have a lot of food. It's a supermarket, sort of. And I was able to buy food all the time, to the point where I was actually feeding all the rest of 8 of my roommates. So it was pretty crazy. So fast forward a little bit further, and I was also, when I was in Israel, I had dated a lot of bad people before in the past. And I really wanted to meet the right woman. And so I started praying for that too. Again, I took time, and I took the first 5 minutes to be grateful, the second 5 minutes to really pray and just say, please, if you hear me, universe, like, give me a wonderful woman to spend the rest of my life with. Fast forward a year later, I went to a shul, which is like a place of prayer, and a guy walks up to me. His name's Ira. He's this older man, and I had gone to this particular shul because there was a predominant speaker speaking that day. And so I walked to the front of the room, and I see this, I made eye contact with this woman, and she's wearing black and white stripes. And then later on, Ira had come up to me and said, there's this wonderful woman, and she really needs a ride home. Can you give her a ride home? And so I gave her a ride home, and that ended up being my fiance. So yeah, so that was pretty amazing. So as you can see, the power of prayer for me was just miraculous. And I can give you so many other stories where things have happened. So I invite everybody to take that time, the first 5 minutes, and say what you're grateful for. Take another 5 minutes to put it out in the universe. And I'm going to say a little prayer right now that you all go home and do that, and then it makes miraculous things happen in your life too. Back to you.